Hell no. First, I mean, that's Oklahoma City. I have Oklahoma City still to this day making it to the NBA Finals representing the Western Conference. But I'm going to tell you something. Please do not sleep on the Clippers. The Los Angeles Clippers right now are playing some outstanding basketball all across the board. But when it comes down to OKC, they check all the boxes. And the one thing that I love about this team, what happened for them last game, is SGA didn't play. Chet Holmgren had, I believe, like 20 and 10. He is going to have to be that second option for them. I think over these next two games, they establish him as the second option, more post-ups and things of that nature. OKC is definitely the most scariest team out west right now.
Okay, so Bobby, then do you favor the Thunder or the Field in any 7-game series?
Listen, it would be easy to say the Field, especially when you have the Lakers and Golden State and Denver here. But for me, it's Oklahoma City. I think their resume this year speaks for itself. They've got the best defensive team in the NBA. I almost equate them as a really good Major League Baseball team. They've got starting pitching, middle relief, and closers on this roster here, and they can defend. And if you can defend in the playoffs, you have a chance in every series. And I'm taking Oklahoma City over the Field.
So who do you trust more, Perk, to make a deep run here? Are we talking Lakers or are we talking Golden State?
I'm thinking Golden State at the moment. The one thing about Golden State is that they have the personnel to defend at a high level consistently, right? We see it in flashes when it comes down to the Los Angeles Lakers. But when I look at the combination of Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green and what the value and what they're able to bring defensively, the way that they're able to anchor defense, the way that they're able to disrupt any team, sometimes in a possession by themselves. And then you add a Pajemski into the mix, a guy that is underrated and what he's able to bring on the defensive side of things. I love the athleticism, the length, the way that Jonathan Kuminga has bought into his role, and they're going to score points, right? They have that offense, the movement, and we're watching guys elevate. I have more trust in the Golden State Warriors to make a deeper run than the Los Angeles Lakers.
Okay, so let's pivot and let's go out east here. We'll start with the Knicks taking on the Pistons on the road. This is the first quarter. And watch Campaign get the steal. Precious Achua over Isaiah Stewart. I mean, he posterizes him. Knicks led by 6 at the half, but this one gets chippy in the third. Check this out. Watch Dennis Schroeder. Runs right into Jalen Brunson and stands over him. You want to talk about disrespectful. Little pushing. Couple of possessions later, Schroeder in the corner. And look at P.J. Tucker. Pushes him down and stands over him. So here we go. About 3 minutes now remaining in the quarter. Pistons down. Cunningham goes bonkers. Knocks down that 3. Pistons down 4. We get to the fourth quarter, and it was all Cade Cunningham. You know, the Knicks only scored a total of 7 points in the last 6 minutes. Meanwhile, Cade Cunningham went bonkers, knocking down shot after shot. He had 36 points, 8 assists. The Pistons get the win, 115-106. Now, the Knicks are nearly locked, basically, in that 3 seed. Pistons more likely going to be the 6th seed. ESPN Analytics giving the two teams a 64% chance to meet in the first round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. Last time these two teams met in the first round of the Eastern Conference playoffs, 2020. And the Pistons won that series 4-1. So I guess I got to ask the question here, Perk. Are the Knicks closer to one and done or a deep playoff run?
They're closer to one and done. I mean, look, last night to me was an opportunity for the Knicks to go out there and stand on business and make a statement, right? And especially against a team that you're possibly most likely going to see in the first round. You don't want to give this young Detroit team any confidence that they could beat you. And I'm going to say something else here. Right, we're watching, we've seen over the last 2 weeks and a half, 2 coaches get fired, right, with their teams having outstanding records, Taylor Jenkins and then Michael Malone. Tom Thibodeau is under some pressure right now. Tom Thibodeau just might be on the hot seat. And I think, a second round exit could possibly have Tibbs and the Knicks parting ways. And I'm not calling for his job. I'm just stating the obvious. You don't give up what they gave up to bring in Mikal Bridges. You don't go out this offseason and go get a Karl Anthony Towns to just make it to the second round. I think if the Knicks don't get to the conference finals, their season is a bust. And I know they're going to probably have to face the Celtics in the second round, which is a hard task. But I don't believe the organization want to hear hard tasks. They went out and loaded up for a reason, and that was to compete in the Eastern Conference.
But Bobby, what are your thoughts on that? Because you heard earlier in the season, Mikal Bridges was one who came out publicly saying, hey, Tom Thibodeau's running the starters into the ground. We need some rest here. What are your thoughts if they're one and done and Tom Thibodeau being on the hot seat?
Well, two things here, Brian. I think for them to have a chance against Boston or Cleveland, they've got to get through the first round in 5 games. They cannot let a series go 7 games because how this Knicks roster is constructed, where you're basically relying on your starter minutes, and certainly we'll get to the playoffs, these guys are going to be playing 40 minutes plus as far as what you have left in the second round. And yeah, listen, anytime you go all in, and going all in is trading 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges, and then you lose in the second round and don't get any further than you did last year against Indiana, there's going to be scrutiny on this Knicks team. Certainly how the roster has been constructed, what happens with the coach here. So there's a lot of pressure. They don't get a free pass this year just because Boston and Cleveland are standing in their way.
And it's getting tight out west. We've got 2 games to go in the regular season. Anthony Edwards, screen left. Ja Morant, screen right. Memphis in the 7 slot right now. The Timberwolves in the 8 slot. Ja Morant, 2-0 against these Timberwolves this season. Hits the 3 and then shield the ears. From what? From what? 16 straight 20-point games. He actually ended with 36. We go now to the third quarter. Minnesota up 76-75, and Anthony Edwards is about to catch fire here. It's 90-77 at this point in the third. Edwards was hot from distance all game, 7 of 11. And then Julius Randle, no. Anthony Edwards, yeah, that's high percentage. Put it back where you found it. T-Wolves 97-79, trying to get their first win against the Grizz this season, and this is going to help. Ant-Man had the juice. A-Rod was there, 44 points for Edwards. T-Wolves season high 141-125. They get the win. So the Timberwolves remain in that 8th slot in the West, but have the same record as the Warriors and Grizzlies at 6-7-8. All 30 teams will be in action tonight and Sunday, which is the final day of the regular season.
All right, to the Eastern Conference, got our eyes on the Cavs, got our eyes on the Pistons. 2 separate games. Let's start with the Cavaliers, who are tangling with the Pacers. Tyrese Halliburton and company, the crossroads of America. Indianapolis, big block there from Miles Turner, T.J. McConnell to Obi Toppin. Look out. Goes betwixt his own wickets mid-flight. One of 7 players in double figures for Indiana, who's still alive for the 3 seed, but can clinch home court in the first round with a win. Hold on, Tristan Thompson's like, I know a lot of contact there, and Kenny Atkinson has his guys back. Kenny gets teed up with a quickness, 2 of them, first ejection of the season for him, on a night where he rested 4 of his starters. And T.J. McConnell's like, this is you. That's what you look like when you were trying to sell that contact. All right, Craig Porter Jr. driving, finished a steal on the inbound. Look at Javonte Green just lingering, just loitering. Coming through with the steal off of McConnell's hands, and the Cavs lead by 1 going into the 4th. And then order was restored for the Pacers. Halliburton for 3, 4 of 11 from distance. 110-107 is the lead. Then Halliburton, another triple, 23 points, 10 dimes, 8 rebounds. Indiana's won 6 straight, and they do clinch home court in the first round.
All right, you got the Pistons, and you have the Knicks, and this is shaping up to be a first-round playoff matchup, and it would be quite the doozy. It was getting pretty physical. Jalen Brunson hits the triple. The Pistons, they haven't beat the Knicks on their home court in a handful of years. Dennis Schroeder's standing over Jalen Brunson, and P.J. Tucker going to take exception to that because following possession, yeah, he'll stand right over Schroeder, and Schroeder got the maniacal laugh. He's like, all right, let's bring it. 78-72, so the Knicks trying to take care of business here. Remember, they have trouble with the cream of the crop in the East. Cade Cunningham, 35-point games for the first time in his career, going back-to-back with those 35-point games. And now we have a bit of a sequence here. Ball getting a little handsy. El Cato Grande going to turn it over twice. Cade Cunningham, Malik Beasley eventually going to flush this thing home to tie the game at 91. We're tied at 93. Cade getting it done in the paint with 8.5 to play. The lead is now 7 for the Pistons. And he was just feeling himself. Listen, the Pistons still have an opportunity for the 5 seed if they win their last.
Hôm nay mình sẽ hướng dẫn các bạn cách làm một sợi dây treo trang trí đơn giản từ len nha. Nguyên liệu mình cần có chính là len. Mình sẽ sử dụng 3 màu sắc như thế này để làm cho mọi người. Xanh, vàng và đỏ kết hợp lại với nhau nhé. Rồi mọi người chuẩn bị kim móc này, kéo này. Bây giờ sẽ bắt tay vào làm. Đầu tiên thì dùng phần len vàng trước đi. Mình dùng phần len màu vàng. Mình gỡ len ra để sử dụng nhé. Rồi bây giờ sẽ tiến hành làm nhé. Bây giờ mình sẽ móc vào đây một cái nút thắt. Đây, móc nối vào đây này. Đấy, được một nút thắt nhé. Bây giờ mình sẽ móc những cái mũi bình kép. Đây, móc vào đây.